That what it reflects, that is that we have to give the priority to the individuals and the stakeholders and their interactions, their expectations. Number three, working software over comprehensive documentation. So it is a very one of the key factor. We can see in Bangladesh we have lots of software we developed in government segment, private sector, and every sectors, lots of software. But how many of them are working functional in the market? So that is a big question. So that's why the priority is that working software, because normally traditionally what happened is after a software development end moment or a project development end moment, the stakeholders or customers said, no, I don't want this. You fail to understand my requirements. So what happened in the meantime? Six months to 1 year jeopardize everything, and this mishap started. So that means not only the fine tune documentation, proper everything, but it has to be functional. Then customer collaboration over contract negotiation. If we know very well in local language, it is called a proverbs is there, this je jodi hoy sujon tetul patay najon, amra chotobela we have seen those in earlier livelihoods. That means if it is stakeholders in our shoes, then we can make everything our life easier. So and that's can come up through collaboration, not through contract, because contract is the legal part. When people move to at the end moment, then they touch the contract. So in practically, if you find, you will find out lots of project goes, time extension happen, everything happen, but people move to that contract part at the end, because they don't try to, people by nature people don't want to touch the contract initially, except few people. I agree with you guys that yes, except few people are there always who will talk with the contract, but majority person, about 90 to 98 99% people feels comfortable with the collaboration. And responding to change over following a plan. Yes, we have to be responsive to the requirements of changes. So there is a few ways we can adapting a change. It doesn't mean that every time, every moment we'll say yes and we'll jump into the work, but there should be a process, but we'll respond. And those who have working experience with external parties earlier, like 2000 and 2010 2000 year times, so 1 decade 2 decades ahead, then you can easily find out how tough it was to get any change, adapting any change or requirement to external parties for a bigger software project. And whenever those foreign companies are coming to Bangladesh, they are totally rejecting, even they don't want to listen any requirements. So how when you were an internal project manager, it was really tough to admit those changes, make them acknowledge, okay, yes, we will develop it later on, and it is really tough situation. So but here what is saying that responding to change over following plan will response. Mind you, there is few misunderstanding happen with, if somebody says that it means that we are accepting the change. No, it's responding to change. That means we'll respond it, we'll analyze it, take the decision. Customer will take the decision whether they want it right now or not. But this response is a very much important. So this is the statement of value. So based on these four values, everything comes up. Now we'll go for, and this is the website of the Agile Manifesto, agilemanifesto.org. You will find out these 17 fellows names over there, and these four statement of values are written in there, and also the 12 principles what I am going to share with you, that those principles over there. And not only that, among these 17 fellows, Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber, these two guys comes up with the preparation of Scrum guide. So those who are a fan of Scrum or practicing Scrum, so they are very known, well known that yes, Scrum guide is written by these two guys, and the Scrum guide also updated last year. And as well, these fellows are some of are still alive. Most of them are still alive. So, and even in some regional Scrum gathering or some other Scrum sessions, these people join with us, and we can learn lots of experience from them. So let's move on to this. Move on to the principles part. So what I said, it is 12 principles are there. So number one principle is deliver value. So our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So that time, so even till now, any dev software project is really challenging, because the expectation varies people to people. Understanding the scope is really a toughest thing. So that's why it is always in that time it's always focus about the software. So the main part is that we have to deliver a value, because if we don't give, if we fail to deliver a value, so that means that software or the delivery is not meaningful to that stakeholder or the end user or the customer. So this is the most important part of delivering a valuable, deliver a value, because if the, so that customer can feel that yes, what I want. Just think about yourself. If you go to a fruit shop and buy some fruits, and after coming back to home you find out that some are rotten, what will feel? You'll feel very bad. But if you think that yes, whenever you, like for example, now it's mango season, if you think, find out that mangoes are very good, but when you come back to home find out that these are all very sweet and tasty, so what will feel? That wow, that's good, I'm going to buy it again from that shop. So this is a value delivery, that shop is not only delivering your product as well as it is giving you some value. That means you are satisfying yourself, you're feeling good. So that means you're thinking, okay, next time if you go, I'll try that shop again. So this is how this value delivery comes up. Embrace change. So in a changing requirements, even late in the development, agile process harness the change of customers competitive advantage. That means if any customer wants any change, that he wants to do this way and that way, so we'll check it out. So what is his expectation, what he wants, and how it he wants. So if that doesn't, this here it's not mentioning that we'll jump into the change, we'll check, we'll listen, we'll analyze his change, and we'll try to admit how to admit, we'll take his consultation. Because and in most of the case, some of my agile project delivery, I find out after my analyzing, customer said no, don't go for this development right now, go it for later, but deliver what you were planned right now, I want this earlier. So these things happens. So but it's required approach. That means we are addressing them, we are giving a value to, okay, priority, okay sir, yes, we are going to address it, we're trying to check it how it can impact, whether it is impact. So if we compare it to our PMI PMBOK and PM knowledge, that is uh, analyzing the change after getting any change request, it's obviously we have to do a analyze, not will jump into. So it's almost same here in this. There is a very small gap in between agility and the PMI understanding, but PMBOK can share knowledge. So because it's our understanding gap, we misunderstood, and that's why, and also some myths and misconception gives makes it more complex. So the number 3 principle, the frequent delivery frequently. That means we want, we want small and continuous development. So then if we can deliver anything small pieces, and for every at frequent short interval and frequently, that will customer can feel that okay, my things are coming up, rather than after 2 years giving a product with something quite good or not, even some cases bad. But if they can deliver frequently, then that might give some customers good feelings that yes, things are coming to me. Number, work together. Commonly what happened, the business people don't want to meet with the developers, don't want to the business development people or business peoples. So there might have some lots of queries and understanding, so it impacts the delivery, because their understanding level gap, the impact of any changes, their gap. So that creates a main problem, huge problem. It's all our fellows, we are here, actually we have lots of experience on this. So this is another principle of agile, that working together. So next is the motivated individuals. So if we want to do a good project in a good time on budget, so we have to have always a team members with the motivated individuals. If people are not motivated, it will anyhow it will impact the delivery, and any triangle or any part of the project. Yeah, it can create a disaster, it can create wrong understanding, it can miss everything. So motivated personals is important, and these motivations is actually, here I want to say that motivation not about the money. So there is lots of studies are there, Harvard Business School's review is there, you can find out over net that money is not the motivation factor. It is the leadership behavior, approach, working culture, responsibility, ownership. All those things are creates a motivated individuals. Actually, if you go, I was seeing visiting a survey result, and only the young learners are actually think about the money. But as after some to 15 or 20 years of age or experience, people think about the working environment, ownership, responsibility, team facilitation, how the working and culture is there. It's actually important there. So that's why people actually motivation is very situation to situation, time to time, and organization to organization, culture to culture. Then face to face conversation, this is one of the important, because and those you are very good and experienced in project management, that when we are talking about face to face, so we can easily read whether this guy is saying yes with a happy note or not, or if he's saying that yes no with a but with a very dissatisfaction, we can read him. And most of the case, anger goes down. Even for example, customers was very angry upon you, some reason. So if you go talk face to face, you will find out this angriness will come down. So this anger things or discomfort things is you can easily meet up face to face communication. Otherwise, it can create some very bad impact here, because if sometimes a stakeholder writes some bad remarks or recommendation which is angry by mail or hard copy, so it can create a massive problem for us. So that's why face to face is preferred in this is also one other principle of it. Working software, and what is the mention is working software is the primary measure of progress. So this is one of the agility principle, that functional and the functional to the user, not for us. Sometimes we may the development team may think that yes, we made a super duper software, it will very good, it will very good, but end user said no, it's not working for me, then actually no value. So it has to be functional software for the end user and customers or stakeholders. Sustainable pace, the agile process promotes sustainable development. The sponsors, developers and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. That means we are developing something, giving some sample, and after a long time no response and gaps, then we can easily said we can easily stop. Then again I got some time, but agility says no, we have to be in a certain sustainable pace, we have to deliver in a continuous way. Otherwise it will not be a very good one. Technical excellence, continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhance the agility. So sometimes it is our wrong understanding that agility never talks about the technical excellence. Oh, this is a part out of the agility. No, agility all by principle it says that we have to search and enhance our technical qualification and technical excellence all time. Simple solution. The simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. For example, we are thinking about that how far we are. That means for example, we are moving from Farmgate to Gulshan. So we moved to 1 kilometer, but still how far we are. If we measure that one, we can easily identify that what are the effort, what are the time we have, and how far we can go, how far we need to go. So it is actually agility always talks about what is the remaining amount, what is the amount of work not done to the goal. Self-organizing teams. It is the best architecture, requirements, and design emerge from self-organizing team, because actually if teams are self-organized, actually that is very very critical for an good output. And we have seen all those examples not only the IT. You can check about in other sales team, every sales project, commercial what to say consumer products, commercial teams are always team movement. Even in the sports, cricket, football, everything, when team plays well, they got the winning result. So actually the self-organizing teams, when they collaborate each other, is very 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 important, this self-organizing team. And then reflect and adjust. Actually what you can say, it's an checked and balanced, the adjust, correct ourselves. That means at regular interval the team reflects how to become more effective, then tune and adjust its behavior accordingly. Okay, so so this is actually the 12 principles of agility, and actually based on this agility, lots of things are there, lots of framework, lots of methodologies are comes up. If we think about this, I called it agile universe, also lots of people call it agile universe. That is, agility is a mindset, and based on in this mindset there is four values and 12 principles. Based on these four values and 12 principles, lots of framework and methodologies are comes up till now. It's that at this moment around 140 frameworks are available, and these frameworks not only all are IT, some are startup, even lean startup framework is also there. Lots of non-IT frameworks also there. Considering these agile values and principles, the my agile mindset, how this agility can be adopted. Initially, though it was dependent on more sort of software or IT, but nowadays this as adapting agility in the this VUCA world, this volatile uncertainty world, how they can adapt in even civil construction, mechanical construction, mechanical setup, industrial construction, industrial production. So they are already started as adapting this agile concept as in agile values and principles, and then some frameworks are comes up. So, and if we checked ourselves in our practical life also, we are used to move in the agile way. For example, just think about self. For example, your team lead asks you to move from, you're moving from Uttara. He is asked to go to Motizil using the road of Mohali. And then at the moment, while you're coming near to that Mohali bus stand, you find out that there's some mishap happens in seven road crossing, and then you decided to, okay, let's move it to through Farmgate I'm going. So what you will do, you will instantly change the decision. You will not ask to and wait for it. You will send a message or give a call to your team lead and, okay, waiting his permission to and move to the road, change the road direction. But what you will do, you will instantly do it, because you know this, you have to reach there on time, and to do this you need to change the road. So this is a common practice of us. Actually, we in our practical life always we are following this agility, but we are not, we normally, what happened, we normally don't follow a framework or framework. Okay, so that's why actually in the Western world, that lots of frameworks are there. They are always follow their work in structured way, and do, and in this subcontinent actually we are more sort of agile, but rather than we go for a structured way. So that's why we never that these schemes up comes up to us a bit later on. So there's lots of framework available in here. So in agile umbrella, there is a Scrum, lean software development, there is a Kanban, extreme programming, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Now it is also commonly known as CI/CD, feature driven development, test driven development, and crystal clear. There are lots of frameworks are there, still there, and these are for most of the case small amount development members. But whenever it is a multifunctional team, also big development, then these frameworks are big frameworks are available. Also Scrum of Scrum, Scrum at a scale, large scale Scrum, a scaled agile framework, discipline agile delivery, and dynamic system development, agile project management, AUP, agile unified process, open defined process, AUP, open UP. And lots of frameworks are there. As I said, 140 frameworks are available at this moment. Just a few of them I have, which are bit known to us, and that's why I have highlighted. And currently, actually, total agile practitioner world, as Scrum is the most popular one, and around the world around 65% agile practitioners are following the and using the Scrum framework and the Scrum methodologies. So let's see what about get a small idea about Scrum. It is a framework within which people can address complex adaptive problems while productivity and creativity delivering products of the highest possible values. And Scrum is a very lightweight framework. It's very simple to understand, but difficult to master. To be very honest, I would like to share my experience last over around 5 years plus of knowledge hunting time on the agility and other agile frameworks. So still Scrum is, I can say that I am the master of it, because it's a really interesting, and I have read the Scrum guide so many times, but even every time it came to me that yes, I am finding something new. So because it's such a comprehensive things, so that's why it is said that it is easy, simple to understand, but difficult to be master. There is a three pillar of Scrum, and there is transparency, inspection, and adoption. These three pillars are based on this the total Scrum framework standing. So first one, remember again, is transparency. Everything is transparent. It is one of the pillar. Inspection and adoption. That means and check whether we are on the right track. If we find out any way to improve, then go for an adoption. That means change the improve. There is a Scrum 5 values of Scrum. So that number one is courage, then focus, commitment, respect, and openness. So courage means team members have to be courage to be right things and work on tough problems. So there have to be courage. Yes, we'll make it happen. Focus, because all team members have to be focused what they want to do, not moving here and there, blah blah sort of thing. They have to be committed to achieve. It's like a relay race, because if all team members functional way, then a team can win a relay race. Otherwise, not. So commitment is very much important to achieving the goal, because if we don't have the commitment, definitely we'll miss the goal. Then respect, because we have to the main thing is that every team members have to respect each other to be capable for their capability and independently and for their skill set. So as in a Scrum team, we cannot say something as, yes, you are junior guys, I'm 20 years old experience, you know nothing, you follow me. No, we cannot say like this. We have to give him a value and honor. Yes, he have, and respect that yes, he is a very, though he's a young fellow, but he can we can even sometimes learn from him also some good things also. We have to give this value and respect. And the openness, the Scrum team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. That means we have to be open, all the including the stakeholders, that we have, will communicate, discuss about the challenges, whatever is coming, we'll fix it together. It's not okay, I give the work order to you, you the development team, whatever you do it, I don't care. No, stakeholders have to be have that responsibility. Okay, that oh, whatever the support, whatever the help you require, do let me know, I'm with you. So there is a Scrum in short, there is three major roles: the product owner, Scrum Master, and the team. And there is two type of team. One is Scrum team, one is the development team. I'm going to show you that in the next slide. And that some rituals, that means planning to product backlog, grooming planning, and the daily stand up, review, and retrospective. There is some artifact, that means backlog, definition of done. And another one is the last one, this is the potentially shippable product inventory. That means the part and part delivery, what we are what comes at the end of the sprint. So there is in the Scrum roles, the product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team. There is a three formation is there, and including product owners and the Scrum Master and the development team all together. This called Scrum team. Minded, development team, Scrum Master, and the product owner all together, they are the Scrum team. But all the development team members in the development team, and there is no role or role responsibility of a tester, coder, developer, something like that. All are in the same platform. All team members, development team members, have the same responsibility to make it win. It's like a teamwork. So if it fails, then the total development team fails. It doesn't, we can, nobody can point out, okay, for you testing reason it fails, because other members are also same liability. If anybody fails, any role fails, any people fails, so that means that collective ownership has to be there. So now going to the myths and misconception about Agile. So actually in the this Agile universe, lots of myths and misconception is there. So but considering today's time, I'm going to share a few of them about Agile and few of the myths and misconception about Scrum. So let's check it out. Sorry. Actually, Agile means no planning. Very common myths and misconception. Agile means no governance. There is no documentation in Agile. I've seen lots of people concept that agility means no documentation. Do work and deliver. Who say? Agile only works with small projects. Agile is a silver bullet. That means if you follow the agility, all problem will be killed. So and also agile process are less structured. This is just it's like it's in language Bangla it's called খেপাটে people their কাজ. Who said? So let's check about. Agile means no planning. Actually, it is our total wrong conception, because this the diagram is called the planning onion. We practice in the agility world, and this planning onion you see in the daily life. We are inspect and adapt. That means we are checking and improving ourselves. But in the sprint level, that means then the release level, then the product level, the portfolio level, then the strategy level. Everywhere this planning should be there. This for the considering the time, I'm not going to give a deep dive on this Agile Onion, how it's work. But if I get any chance, I will definitely share more detail about it. It's a long and it's a quite time consuming to share every step of it. But planning is already inbuilt, so it's no scope of it. No planning thinking is there. Next, Agile means no governance. So that why this comes up, because we are saying that teams have the full authority. So teams have the full authority, but does not mean that to take the decision about the work. It doesn't mean that the governance will not be there. Obviously governance will be there. For any here I said one modeling example of agile IT operating model, but as in other cases also it can be followed. That means actually delivery, development, training, coaching, everything and operation to be a part of it. It's not like everything is freedom. It's not like that যখন যা ইচ্ছা খুশি তাই করার মতো. It's not I cannot do anything anyway. No, this is not. This has to be in structured way. There is no documentation agile. It's a very common myth, and also as well as the misconception of it, that agile means no documentation. No, my friends, actually it has to be documented in a proper way. Here actually, though I in this screen, RQ test is a software. They are in the following the agile documentation structure. So I given an example. So actually lots of other tools is also there. So you can also in the GitHub and others also lots of agile version is there, so you can use that way. And documentation has to be there. It's must. There is no scope of it. So agility never gives you the waiver to about documentation. Now another interesting misconception is agile only works for small projects. But the discipline agile delivery, as a PMI member, all of you know that DAD is coming up and is going more enhancing very soon. And also another scaled agile framework, it's in the market and practicing by lots of big enterprise. And all the big enterprise, you can say, like Google, Microsoft, and all the whatever you find out IT big giants, they're following the scaled agile framework. And now another framework is going very rapidly, that is discipline agile. So and I'm the eyewitness of a project delivery with 25,000 man days. 25,000 man days and resource from 8 location of the geography. It's not like in one country, and USA, Japan, and others, lots of others. I've seen the delivery 25,000 man day project, and that delivered significant very well. Even I'm also I lead one delivery, and where I had to lead the total delivery team in different location, like in India, Chennai, Hyderabad, Delhi, Calcutta, and also the Myanmar. Even for some support, I had to engage the Philippine teams, and so all in agile way they worked in remotely and we delivered the project. So this is totally misconception that no, friends, actually agility, there's a framework is there, we can follow, and it's practicing everywhere. It's not like that. Actually we don't know, that is the point. and somebody don't know, that's why they're commenting that, oh no, this is not possible. So who said not possible? Thousands and millions, or thousands, more than thousands, millions of millions of experience are there, examples are there, successful examples are there. Agile is a not silver bullet, because some misconception that if you are facing some challenges, go and adapt agile way of working and then you will everything progress. No, so this is not. Agility is not an error, or any practicing any agile framework is not a silver bullet. Agility, what helps? Agility helps to find out the problem. Where is the problem? It's like diagnosis the disease of us. If we can get the proper identification of the disease, then we can get the proper medicine. So that is one of the important things. So it is not like silver bullet, it will kill everything problem. No, it's not giving any anywhere written that okay, yes, or anybody says with the experience that it's solved. No, it's never solved. It will point out where it is. That is the thing. Then another interesting misconception is agile processes are less structured than those of waterfall. They said, okay, this is not structured, documented, well followed. Friends, actually, this is completely wrong understanding, because to be very honest, in some cases, agility is a more structured and more process oriented. More. So this is one of the myths and misconception of agility. So now I'm going to the myths and misconception about Scrum. Their Scrum team must be co-located. Each development team member must have all of the skills required to build the product. Product backlog is maintained exclusively by the product owner. If it is okay to have, it is okay to have a sprint zero, design sprint, hardening sprint. Lots of names are there. Then burn down charts are mandatory in the Scrum, and one person cannot play the part of multiple role in Scrum. So let's see of it. Scrum team must be co-located. This is a initial, though it is saying that if it is better if we can have a co-located team, it will works better. But remote team also work, and for you, I can assure that I have that experience of 8 location teams working simultaneously for a delivery, and we delivered that project on time. So, and that project, I had to the total 237 development team members, and the total team members, delivery team members, most of them around 220 was out of the country. So even most of them I've never seen their I've never meet them physically. Most of them are in call and virtual. So this is actually this is before the pandemic, and due to this current pandemic, it's already proven that yes, we can work from home, we can deliver the project, we can do the work on time, and most of the technology now it's in practice everywhere like that. That people are in practice also in other industry also. The teams are working. Next misconception is that each development team members must have all of the skills. So this is not possible. So this is a completely misconception that agile development teams have to be, every man have to be the jack of all trade. No, this is not required. So agility, if the team members required to co-op any team members, external experts, these options are there, practice are there. But due to wrong understanding, misinformation, we such kind of misconception grows up. Then the product backlog maintained exclusively by the product owner. This is one of the misconception, is that normally we think that product backlog will maintain by the product owner and it is only the product owner's responsibility. No friends, this is product owner, not only, it's a product owner's responsibility, but not the only one, only his responsibility. It's a total team's responsibility to have a good product backlog, so that we can find out the right one. Because for example, in the product backlog, the feature requirement, it is something we find out that the one of the important pros and cons features are there not mentioned properly, so it need to be clarified. So development team, he can ask to the product manager, okay, I think you missed something, is it right this way, or can you clarify it, so we can contribute. the other development team members can easily contribute. But it's one of the misconception is that only the product, on all sort of product backlog issues, only the product owner issue. No, it's not. So then it is okay to have a sprint zero, design sprint, hardening sprint. There's some lots of malpractice at this moment. I find out there's what is the sprint zero, that is we will find out some preparatory work in there. Okay, for a design sprint, we'll in this sprint only we'll talk about the design sprint, design things. Another thing is the hardening sprint. This is interesting word. That means that we'll fix the bug only in that sprint, on others work we'll not do. No, in a sprint we have to do all the work in specific way, but we cannot make it specify the design sprint, hardening sprint. The sprint is sprint, and it has to build all the work, planning, design, development, testing, and everything in that sprint, and also retrospective user feedback. So and all those things will be there. Another misconception is about burn down charts are mandatory. In the Scrum, burn down charts are there. Yes, burn up charts also there, because we are used to habituate or seeing a graph upward. But burn down charts comes to near. If you check this screen, this total effort start from the 225 and is going down, because when the development, what in the principle what I mentioned, that the will calculate the remaining amount, how far is remain to achieve the goal, to reach the target. So here is actually burn down charts is calculate the how is the remaining part are efforts and what is the development progress. So actually that's why it's become a misconception that burn down charts are mandatory. No, burn down charts are not mandatory, it's an optional. You can use burn up charts and some other charts, whatever you like, whatever you stakeholders like, what is feel them to make it clear, so you can use it. And the last one is the one person cannot play a part of the multiple role in the Scrum. That means one person, a team, he can fix and he cannot engage with the other team in any other role. No, it's not fixed. So product owner, Scrum Master can be a product owner. They even some cases they can join in the development team. A person, it's a role. Remember one thing, it's a role. It's like a hat. Product owner, it's a hat, it's a role. Scrum Master is a role, and development team, it's also a role, because this person who will work on that chair will take the responsibility of that role. So the people can change over time to time for project to project, different role to role also. So, and that's all from my side. So now I'm going to go for a session, Q&A session, and this is what I am the. Thank you.
Thank you, Zafor bhai. Thank you so much for your informative presentation. And now we have some questions on chat box. Already one of AVM Kalimullah. He asked about what is the difference between Agile and Disciplined Agile.
Okay, Disciplined Agile is a framework, and Agility is a philosophy that based on this, what I have shared, the 4 values and 12 principles. Based on these 4 values and 12 principles, Disciplined Agile is a framework what we are practicing. So it is in a practiced word how we will follow that agility in a disciplined agile way, and this is that. So this is one framework, one is the philosophy or theme.
Thank you. And another question from Mohammad Farooq. Scrum seems like best fitted for software projects. Is Scrum applicable for construction or manufacturing projects?
Yes, it can be applicable. This is not limited to only software project. Yes, it may be best fitted. And to be very honest, I have the practical experience to implementing the Scrum in infrastructure project, and that case study already accepted more than 2 regional Scrum gathering and in international level. So I've shared those experience that how I implemented Scrum framework in infrastructure project. So that can implementable. So just we need to learn the things of it, the essence of it, then we can easily implement it. It's not
Right.
like that only bookish word we can implement this way. No, we need to learn the essence of it, then we can easily implement.
Okay. Thank you, Jafar bhai. I would like to request you to share the link of the case study so that we can also learn from your that part.
Definitely, definitely.
Apart from that, I have some few questions. Um, Mainly, Agile focuses on working software over comprehensive documentation. You already mentioned, but still,
Yes.
sometimes people misinterpret with this with no documentation. How we really can get rid of these kinds of mindset?
Actually, following, if they whenever we are will follow any framework like Scrum, XP, Kanban, or Discipline Agile, we have to follow that properly, not adding anything from whatever we understand, whatever we think, because these frameworks are already proven and already practiced by some other part in the world. So we have to follow it properly, because what happened, we don't read the framework properly, we don't listen, or we don't want to try the what framework said, we added our thinking into that bucket. So
True.
my request is, don't add your way, just read carefully what they want to say, what's written in the framework, and learn, and then go for the implementation.
Right. They said over comprehensive documentation. Earlier,
Right.
traditional process approach, we mainly for earlier stage we prepared SRS or full-fledged documentation. Then we started development. However, what agile or agility approach is all about document earlier stage or between or during the Scrum session
Right.
or after development or delivery of the session or delivery of the project. Right at that
Right.
time, we can develop the documentation so that people can change anytime. Right,
Anytime. And
new people can.
I can share one example. I have seen in 2003 one project, for expert, for a technical team member. I have been hired in that team. 2,600 pages of documentation, and the customer is saying that it's a bullshit. I don't want this one. So unfortunately, being a technical team member, I have to read all those 2,600 pages to find out where is the gap. So I find out all these
Right,
things are written, but that is not what customer wants. Everything is
right.
written. Customer said, I don't care.
Mhm.
I mean, I cannot use this software. What is the value of your 2,600 pages? That's a piece of shit. So that is the fact, because that is what the agility says. Okay, give the priority on the customer satisfaction rather than priority on the documentation.
Right,
Documentation will be there, but not with the less priority. Priority to the customer first, stakeholder
exactly.
first.
It's all about customer centric development
Yes,
and delivery, user centric
yes,
approach. Right. And another question is people love to embrace agile approach, considering maximum project success and customer centric development. However, in reality, it is rare in practice. We are saying yes, the project development approach is all about agile approach. But however, if you see details of the approach, it's completely absent, or it's just people are saying that's it, nothing more. Then how can we get maximum out of it? What is your suggestion?
my suggestion is to follow the framework properly. What we do, we just read a framework, we just listen, or some webinar or session, we don't go to the deep dive of that, it just think, and then we start adding some these misconception myths in our way. So that means, in a glass of pure water, you're adding something garbage. So what happened? And that after some time, it's not in a drinkable condition. So this is the one of the reason. This is not in Bangladesh. Actually, this is happening everywhere in the world.
Everywhere, true.
So everywhere in the world. So then all the studies are there. Lots of studies happen in Scrum Alliance or Scrum or and all other every seven. They find out that all the most of the case misconception and myths are creating a obstacle to make it success, because they assumed. So like I assumed, where you find this? Who said to follow it? No, I think it might be the best way. And agility, as I'm following agility, I can add my way. No, whenever you are following a framework, you have to follow that framework properly. You are not creating a framework. Agility not gives you the right to add. Yes, if you want to invent a framework, you can declare it framework. It can be accepted. Like what I'm saying, that these over 20 years, 140 plus ongoing. So lots of frameworks. I mean, yes, you can create a framework, declare a framework, give it to experts to expert it, but don't put in something in the previous structured and accepted framework.
I
If you
think
follow the
Jafar, you
framework,
also
follow it
already
properly, it
mentioned,
will create a great success.
say,
And I can
it's all about mindset, right?
yes,
Developing of mindset, people's mindset. Those who are working with the team, definitely they should have a very agile mindset. And I think there should be a proper transformation from traditional project management to agile transformation, so that people adopt the new approach right way, and should be some facilitator or mentor is over there, so that they can teach each of every person and properly guide them, and bring on the
yes,
right approach. I think that would be a better approach as well. And one of
yes.
our
And
participant
here
already
here I want to add. Okay, I want to add one thing. Maybe in this our fellow members, I will share my experience also, because in I have implemented three very critical and about to fail project, and those gives me a success and the remarkable success. So, and some other already published to regional Scrum gathering internationally, and some other on the way. So, and for our fellow members, those who are confused, okay, whether Agile way will make me successful or not, how we can do it. Yes, I'm always available. So feel free to communicate. I'll share those knowledge also to give you courage that yes, how it can be make help
right.
us to be successful.
That would be great, Jafar bhai. Another question from Mohammed Qayyum Hussein. He wanted to know, traditionally we're practicing software procurement process using a waterfall model because of cost and time constraint, right? Every corporate organization, government organ, they always want to fix the cost and time, right? So how to convert it into agile methodology?
Okay, so agile procurement is a very agile contract is a very recent or very trendy word in the agile practitioner world. So converting a regular contract to agile way of contract, agile contract is very really, yes, true, it is very challenging, but we are actually some of us might have idea about the time based contract. That means the effort based contract, how many man days we are giving the effort, and based on that we will get the return, we have to get the payment. So these things are very well known for us, because those who are working in the BPO industry, they are very much well known the how much manpower engage, how many manpower they are engaging, how much effort they are engaging, how many shifters they are, how many man hours input is there. Based on that, actually that is as another version of agile contract, agile delivery. So
Right.
we need to just understand feel of it, and then still motivating. And for here, some of us may say the most toughest practice in the government, any following any structured project management practice, but I'll share some other days. Now I'm practicing agile way of working in the government segment. And initially people the government people said no, this will not happen. I said let's start it, and then now they're following. And now I know, I feel, even to be very honest, before this starting in this session, I got a call, and my stakeholder asking, please inform the project manager, I didn't get my next 1 month plan. That means a sprint plan. So you understand, the customers start taking, the government people say start talking in the agile way, but there's some techniques you need to apply. So it's like giving something to, it's like you're playing with your child. So you don't need
Right.
to shout every time, you need to give a convincing way, in a so polite way, then the customers will agree. There's no chance to their refuse. Our understanding is gap, we try to force it by you have to follow it. No, it is
Right.
polite way, polite way. Yes,
Sometimes we also listen about hybrid methodology. It's all about
yes,
blending of
yes, blending.
waterfall and agile approach. I think Kayum can move forward with that approach, hybrid approach. In that approach, it's all about definitely all the way the strategy, contract, everything is over there under the waterfall methodology. However, when it comes to delivery construction, then it's all about agile, where we can introduce the sprint, 4 weeks sprint or 2 weeks sprint, so
Yes.
that it's a collaborative approach, the way Zafor Bhai said. So collaborative approach, then we can deliver by piecemeal and
Yes.
ensure the success. So it's all about hybrid methodology, blending the waterfall method and the agile method. I
Sometimes
have
that
last
works very
question.
good.
Right. I have last question for you.
Sadat bhai, I think our president has raised her hand.
After last question, definitely I would give
Yeah,
you
okay.
give her the opportunity to talk something. And there are some other popular approaches over there, say design thinking, lean, design sprint, Kanban, and so many approaches over there. What are the main differences among them? And definitely they work somewhere. They work very collaboratively. And would you please tell us something, one or 2 minutes,
Okay.
within 1 or 2?
Yes, because as I mentioned that Agile frameworks are not limited to IT nowadays. So like lean startup for the who are the entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs, if they follow that lean startup, then they can follow that Agile way of lean and startup. So lean practicing, lots of frameworks are there. Design thinking, not only that, before that another thing is another framework is also popular, test driven development. That means because it's a very good approach, because whenever you are working with a remote team or remote customer, so test driven development. So TDD, FDD, feature driven development, that means if you can deliver this feature, I'll give you this amount of money. So this sort of customer requirements are there. XP, the extreme programming, this is very popular in USA. So if you have a for external customer, then you will find out that they are directly asking to follow the XP. So lots of frameworks are there. It's actually based on the special working environment, the segment, window, or the people who want to follow it, how they want to practice it, their way of there. So normally what happens, you have to put your foot on their in their shoes, then then you can understand why they are practicing like this. Okay, so there's lots of, and for example nowadays very popular is design driven. So why? Because for example we have seen, for it's very well understanding to us, Google, all simple blank page, only Google what is there. But you, me, and everybody searching, checking, and opening the links and pointing to their service, where we are going, even for Google Translator, we are click and finding where is the Google Translator is there. But Google is not saying I have Google Translator, I have this service, this service, this service, maps and everything,
Right.
because they make it simple. We are going to them. So design driven development is that, so design in a such a way customer will search for you, customer will come to you for your product. So this is the concept. And now what happened, you see lots of apps, lots of developments are there. So now people are moving how they can simplify, and these things are more popular by these Microsoft products and also Google, that they are making their product such a interactive and colorful, everything in a all way, design way, catchy way, then it hints the people mind, oh what a nice. Also at the same time, some more products, some in the Linux and free world, there are lots of software there, but due to interactive and colorfulness and everything, they are not popular to the market. So this how actually design driven development comes up. So this is all these things actually based on some situation, things are comes up. And then what happened, people goes for a in the European world or Western world, they make it a framework, and they say okay, it's become a framework. And whatever we miss, our gap is that we never make said okay, this is my framework. So even if you want, you can mention your name, okay, this is my name, as per my name it might be a framework. Lots of examples are there. So I can actually to it's a long discussion. If I get any chance to later on, I'll share what are the frameworks, what are the benefits I have those, and what I taught earlier in different batches in Bangladesh, different batches are also from outside the country also. So I'll share those. And for our PMI brothers, it's always my door is open. I'll be with you guys to share those knowledge. Then if you can enrich yourself, that would be one day we can put our flag in the global market. that we are agile practitioner. It's not related to, there's no conflict. As I'm taking one opportunity here, there is no conflict with PMI or PMBOK. It's our wrong understanding that we are
Right.
thinking it's like two brothers of two mothers of single father. So like this, no, this is twin brothers. So is we working, it's a twin brother, just our understanding. It's the biggest myths and misconception I have what we have at this moment. So now that's all. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Zafor Bhai. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to request Ornesha Ahmed, President of PMI Bangladesh chapter, to say something about to us.
Uh, yeah, I would like, first of all, I would like to request Jafar Bhai to go in your first slide, the very first slide.
This one.
This one was the first.
Yes.
At first, the introductory slide.
Agile.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
Or you can put the last slide as well. Okay, because I'm doing my job here on spot. I'm doing well because I was a bit late joining, so I just missed to take a screenshot of yours, and I thought like I didn't see your video on, so that's why like I'm being a bit agile now. So I have the mindset, but the
Very good.
I'm a super waterfall practitioner because actually we had some discussion earlier, right, Jafar bhai? Like my company is doing like this waterfall thing for like more than 30 years. So it's very difficult to change the mindset of the management, also for the customers,
Yes.
also
Yes.
for my peers, because actually they are quite comfortable working in a set of environment that has been done. And
Yes.
the thing is that this the set of work or the set of approach or strategies they have been doing, they're pretty convinced because the success stories comes from being convinced like how was the success stories. So that's why it's very difficult to do those transformation from waterfall to agile. But as seeing the COVID situation and all, so we thought why not think of something like not like too much of waterfall. That's why actually I was starting the hybrid model for PMI, like how to do this like from waterfall something to from agile as well. So PMI also thinking like that. So my question to you, like, can you give a secret tip? Like, how have you convinced the government officials on practicing the agile? So just one secret tip, if you can provide.
Okay. So first point is that I never said that this is agile or waterfall something else. I said, let's try this way. I highlighted the benefit of that agile way. Okay, I said, okay, if I work this way, I think we are getting comparatively good results. So can we try continue this way? Then he said, okay, yes, okay, we can check it. It's like I'm making a trap. I'm creating something, giving some benefit, showing some benefit. Okay, you can come to this way and you can get more effect. So it's like a trap. It's a techniques. So, and which is actually not written in any books everywhere. Yes, some techniques are mentioned in the transition and transformation part. Those are transition and transformation expert. And those here, some in Bangladesh, where very few coaches are available. With those who are coach, we know how to make it happen. But we need to give some benefit. Look, if a people, for example, in Bangladesh, lots of buildings don't have any lift. They are habituated to use the stairs to climb up that fifth floor. But now, if you put a lift over there, you will find out still some people are using the stair because they are habituated of it. They are not thinking about their comfortness. They are thinking about their habituation. So for adapting as any agile things, because another thing is that catalyst role, because whenever, because for example, whenever I'm telling you everything every day agile, it will not create any value, but somebody else is coming to that as a guest concerning our culture, this is also important. So it creates some values. And one of the very good topic in the management 3.0, it is that the strategy culture, organization culture eats organizational strategy in the breakfast. So it is their tagline. So that means The culture is required to, sometimes this culture need to be addressed. So for example, we are habituated, for example, most of the office is still now private sector, when a MD comes and he goes, everybody stand up, yes sir, assalamu alaikum sir. And if you go for an external MNCs, nobody is saying that yes sir, assalamu alaikum sir, like this way. You do your work, free limited time, but you work, deliver your work, we are happy. Nobody care about even who is CEO there, standing there, or CTO standing there, not. So these sort of cultures also impacted. And the main thing is that we need to make the example of benefit, small benefit. Then automatically that guy will come to you and ask, okay, I think this way we can practice. It's quite better. Okay, so we need to give the small. If you give the change altogether, people will be scared. No, I don't want to follow. Even I'll, rather than I'll leave the job. Lots of experiences there. People come straight go for a resign just whenever they ask to adopt this as any framework of it. So this is a lot of slowly steps. My open support is there. If you after this pandemic session, I'll definitely go for as a work as a catalyst role in your organization to convince them to practices. My support will be there. And even in this PMI chapter, any my fellow colleagues and fellow friends need any support for this, my door is always open. Because last pandemic session, last what to say, a lockdown
Last
session,
year.
I did it in voluntarily. Yes, somebody may seen it in LinkedIn and Facebook. And again, this time my door is always open for this country. My door always open. Any moment you can ask me. My support will be there. I'll be there. Don't think about anything. Don't think about any money and nothing else. Just inform me that for agility I need any support. I'll be there.
Yeah. And as far you said, like PMI and Scrum are always like brother. I think they're siblings. I'm sister over here. So not only ভাই
Yes.
ভাই, so ভাই বোন সবাই সবার আর কি এখানে, যেটা আমরা বুঝাতে চাচ্ছি।
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so এখানে yeah, right, so that's why like for the Scrum practices and everything, like we'd like to do the same sort of thing together, like as you said, like the wow of working, the way of working, the wow. So that is also very much actually with us as in agile practice and stuff. And there was a question like why PMI. I think Kolimullah Bhai provided a question that was to PMI, I guess. Let me just why did PMI bring discipline agile despite having agile? So I think the answer would be like, like I'm not a serious agile practitioner, but I would like to, like I say, like I'm trying to get transformed in agile as well. But I think the ACP or the agile certification was basically on the mindset and how you're gonna work on those. And there was like the past practices and everything over there. It's like how you're gonna practice. But for that, I think this is the way of working. Like what are the in different situation, what will be your way of working with discipline agile? So there are different approaches, but which approaches is properly appropriate for you? So like Zafor Bhai said, like you just can have some ad hoc approach and stuff. So you have to think like which approach is totally applicable. I think that works on that. So that's why these are, I think, different certification, right, Zafor Bhai?
Here I want to add one thing. It is in the PMI website. I have seen that it is clearly written for PMI SAP for whom it will be very beneficial. So it is clearly written for whom, who is this senior Scrum Master, which says the Scrum Master role. This training is different, very supportive. So it is clearly written. So problem that my request to that, please read there. So what you are going to eat, so check it. Just somebody says and you don't jump into that. It is clearly mentioned. It is clearly mentioned in the PMI chapter. PMI SAP certification for the development team members, or the who will work as a team. So that's why they made this curriculum. So it is written. So it is something like the curriculum. That means you want to be a doctor, but you are going to wait to be a doctor. It's not like that. So you have to understand that why you are going to BUET, why you are going to DMC, for which purpose. So you have to understand that one. So for example, I have seen just in this pandemic, I have seen two guys, one guy's arguing with one microbiologist and the one biochemist. So he is mixed up with that. So look, biochemist is one thing, microbiologist is something. So this is how what happened. Actually, normally we mix up. That's why. But if we read carefully of the purpose and what we want to do, then it will clearly be visible there. It's already mentioned in there.
Perfect.
I think, Jafar bhai, thank you very much for your such a groundbreaking presentation that some of the concept has been cleared from myself as well. So I would request you to stop this screen sharing so we can take some image for the social media. So yeah, and we will request every participants to on their video so we can have some faces. So you can recognize yourself in that social media post done by our social media team. They are very active. And I will add another information to you that Jafar bhai is our a mentor in our mentoring program. So those who already hasn't been registered as a mentee, they will miss Jafar bhai, I think, definitely. And when Jafar bhai proposes these two subjects, I chose this subject because of this uh, misconception of myself, and also some of the members who would actually really, sometimes we are really in a cloud to understand that what is agile and what is not agile. So changing the mindset and changing into a positive way is a very tough task, and that is very, what we can say is a very catchy as well. It's not trendy. So I think if anyone has any question, so we are already almost a little bit late. Like every time, our session is being little bit of. I'm thinking about it to make it into a 1.5 hour because every time it, I have to be very apologize to you. So I will request if anyone has any question because so otherwise we'll close this session today. And I will request Anmesha to close this today's event. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jafar bhai. I think now you are a mentor for PMI Bangladesh chapter, so our members will take the opportunity to have your mentorship in our program as well. And I would like to request everyone to please turn on your videos. Actually, we don't get the chance to see you each other like face to face, so we are taking the advantage of Zoom. So can we just please
And just a minute, I will just interpret it. Jafar bhai, would you share this your presentation to us or not? So
Yes, I can share.
okay, so that is the question from the
because
participants.
the consent is very important from the speaker, so that's why we don't commit to our attendance. That okay.
Yeah, dear participant, the slides will be with you with the PDU mail. So be patient on it.
Also, this session will be uploaded in the YouTube channel. So if like you want to check the YouTube channel to get the explanation as well. So please follow our YouTube channel. I have provided all the details in the chat box. So you just can check out. The other sessions are also there. Yeah. So should I take the screenshots now? I think I should.
More than enough.
Smile, everyone. We are so happy to be here. So let's smile. Yeah. Nothing to be sad about. Because COVID is not leaving us soon, so nothing to be sad about. Just be, let's live with it. Yeah. So let's take screenshot. Let me take another one. So anyone having any other question, you can always reach out to our Director Professional Development, Refal Bhai. Like if you have any other question, further questions, I know the time is very limited and it's not actually enough to have these agile conversation. And Zafor Bhai was super today. So thank you so much, Bhai, for accepting our request to have this session with us. And yeah, we are so happy about it. And I think like we'll do some multiple other sessions with you in near future. Like we should actually. And Kolimullah Bhai, do you have any question? He has done the Discipline Agile certification. So, Kolimullah Bhai, any questions on today's
No,
session?
ma'am. Anishabu, no, I don't have any question. Thank you. Thank you for the session. And thanks for Zafor bhai.
Yeah, and he is one of the Discipline Agile practitioner with us, because when did you like clear the exam? Like last month, right?
Last month. I'm following him because always track whoever doing any certification or doing any, even try to do learning some agility part. It's always come to my radar. So whenever the day he passed and they give the post, somehow it comes to my Facebook notification that one guy passed the discipline and design certification. So, so actually my heartiest congratulations. Actually, even I said him to the Facebook also that this is a good approach. Yes, if somebody is coming to the forward, and this is for Bangladesh. Let's give a round of applause for him, because he's the first one. So welcome to the journey.
And
Thank
he's
you,
also
thank
a
you.
banker. He's also a banker. So it's very difficult to like have a agile practice in banks as
Yes.
well. So
Yes.
should have like so great motivation for us. Okay, thank you so much. So
Thank you all.
for any further questions, please provide to Refal Bhai and Shadat Bhai. Thank you so much for hosting today's session.
Welcome.
Yeah, so we also in PMI Bangladesh chapter do this agile
thank-
practice teamwork.
Thank you, Zafor bhai, for accepting the offer to being a presenter. So it is a privilege to hold you. And in my portfolio, and Mr. Shahadat bhai done a very excellent job. He is always busy, but this time I have somehow catched him.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafal bhai, Onnesha, Zafor bhai, and
Thank
all
you.
for participating and giving your valuable time.
Okay, then
Thank
I
you
think
very
it is a goodbye for us from now our
Right.
end. So,
Khuda Hafiz.
see you all.
Thank you. Allah
Thank you
Hafiz.
so much.
Stay safe.